All right, so we're going to jump off. This is our third Q&A session. This is for the month of December. So the way the Q&A sessions work is we tend to go over new things in the academy. We will bring on members of the academy for quote unquote hot seats. We'll turn on their mic, let them talk and tell us a little bit more about what's going on in their business. I'll give them suggestions and advice. We've had the members give them suggestions and advice. It normally works really well. What I also like to do is I like to bring on special guests. So I had on Ryan Walsh on the first one, and on this one I have Matt with me. So Matt, I will kind of let you introduce yourself, but I will give you this awesome title slide.
Oh, sweet. That looks great. Well, guys, my name's Matthew Jelinski. I've been full-time with entrepreneurship for, I'd say, about the past 10 years, internet marketing for about the past 4 years. The funny thing is most of my success with internet marketing has happened in about the past 7 months, and there's some reasons for that I may get the chance to go over. But no, I'm looking very forward to helping you out. I've been in your seat where you're trying to, you're doing the grind and you're trying to make some things happen, and I'm hoping that what I can share with you today will be of some value to help you get where you want to go.
So Matt, no need to be modest. I don't know if you're willing to reveal numbers, but what your business is kind of doing today.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We haven't necessarily really launched yet. The past 7 months where all my business has been coming from has mainly been testing strategies. Right now we're getting close to 50K a month, and we're officially going to launch our official business where we really get out there and start marketing and hitting it hard the first of the year. So within 7 months on just a testing type phase, we've generated about 60 new clients and almost 50K a month in revenue.
And how much of that, would you say you take home? Because I do know that you leverage other people for fulfillment.
Right, that is absolutely correct. Now, with the SEO side, usually I would say about 50% while they're ranking, and then once they're ranking, it'll go down to a kind of a management fee, and from there, I'd say about 70 to 80% is profit. With reputation management, leveraging David, I can't pronounce his last name, with his reputation marketing, excuse me, that's a fantastic plug-in into this because we mainly focus on reputation marketing, and that is almost 100% profit. With leveraging outsourcers and keeping the simple, smooth, and being able to scale, we've looked at it almost less than $5 per client to manage. Wow. With reputation marketing. Yeah, it's phenomenal. And it's so easy to sell too.
And that's part of the reason why, I was really attracted to your business and interested in your business, because I know a lot of people get hung up on fulfillment. And like I know we were talking to Brenda, and she had a reputation marketing business and she was having a lot of success with it. And what kept slowing her down was the fulfillment side. Mm-hmm. And you've kind of just completely sidestepped that.
Well, as far as reputation management goes, we do a lot of the fulfillment because it's so easy. There's so much free content out there, and with you guys and with everything you guys offer on how to actually, get your citations or where to get citations and how to post reviews and do it properly so they don't get banned. It's really just a simple step, and once you have to do it yourself. If you don't do it yourself, you can never train anybody. So you have to do it yourself for the first so many times. Once you do it yourself, then you kind of map out, okay, this section I can train this person, and this section I can train the next person. With using Elance or Odesk or any of those, you can interview the proper people that can take on those certain segments, and then as soon as that's done, it's smooth sailing from there.
And now
go ahead.
Oh no, continue.
What I was going to say is here's the thing, it's a love-hate relationship with SEO. I love SEO, but I can't stand actually doing the work, and to be completely honest, I've never ranked a site personally in my life, but we have over 60 sites ranking because SEO is so complicated in the sense of what it takes to actually rank a site. There's so much you have to do. There's link building, PBNs, all this stuff. that, I just decided there's people out there that love to do that side of things. Me, I have no issue going out there and getting on the phones and getting the deals, and that's how we've worked this into our business, is more of a sales and marketing team rather than the fulfillment side. We do the fulfillment in the sense that we outsource it to people who are great at what they do, and with that, running through the numbers, we can offer 100% money back guarantees on our marketing, which help us get more deals because I trust who I've outsourced it to, and I don't. All I have to do is just worry about new business.
And now with so I guess let's stay focused on that for now. Where did you find these outsourcers? How did you find these, especially with SEO? I know you tend to work with only a couple people, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and even that's been changing a little bit, and I'll be able to give you guys some tips here in just a few minutes on a really great place to do this. When I first got started, and kind of how I met these people is basically this right here: getting on webinars, becoming a part of a membership, leveraging the forums, introducing myself to other people, and communicating, just basically networking on these types of platforms. And from there, you build relationships, you exchange Skypes, you talk, you find out what people are good at and what they're not good at, and that's exactly how I met my partners that I currently still use, and also how I found out the new partners that I'm going to start using. And that was just through Facebook groups, things like that. And we just made a deal. And then all I do is just go out there and sell the deals and get them set up and manage customer service and manage getting referrals. And as soon as I get a deal, as soon as I get someone interested, I send over the information to my partners. They give me a quote, kind of a wholesale quote that we worked out, and anything that I sell over that is what I keep. So it's great because the margins are amazing, and I don't have to do any of the work.
Yeah, that's certainly nice. But then you still manage the client relationship, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but that's kind of my favorite part, though, because if you get the right partners that are going to do a good job, and once the rankings actually start happening, and you can go back to that client and say, John, look what we've done in 30 days, 60 days, 3 months, and start the upsell process to more keywords and even getting referrals. And referrals is where I would probably say 50 to 60% of my 60 clients have come from.
Wow.
So the other side has just been straight up cold calling and things like that.
And now with the pricing, this is something I'm curious about because it's a question that we get asked a lot. I mean, we get it asked all the time. How much should I price my services? How much should I price my services? How much should I price my services? So I'm curious with question. You, if you can give us a little bit better numbers, like maybe how much you're paying for the wholesale fulfillment and then how much you charge.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It's gonna differ for so many different ways, but to try to get it as close as possible, the team that I use is very good. So they're probably a little bit more expensive than I'd like them to be. That's one of the reasons I've always keep my eyes out. But the way that I kind of determine pricing will be the amount of traffic that the keywords get versus the cost per click that those keywords cost, and also the lifetime value of the client's customer. So by looking at those metrics, you gotta make money, and these guys understand that. Everybody's got to make money here. As long as they get what they paid for, they don't really care. So it's hard to say exactly what I would charge. For example, I guess I could put out there, if you're trying to go here's a recent example I did. So Brooklyn dentist, and there's about 5 other different keywords for Brooklyn dentist. I think the total amount of searches came out to about 2,500 in total, that once they're in the top the top tier spots, they get about they'd be in front of about 2,500 searches. Now the math that I do with that is out of those 2,500 searches, they'd probably get, I don't know, maybe 60% of that traffic if they're within the top three, at least the top one. And then you times it by a conversion. So if they're, let's just say they're getting, 1,700, and then you times that by a 3% conversion times their their lifetime value, you can show that they would end up making anywhere from $30, $50, $60,000 depending on what that LTV is. So if I know they're going to make $30,000 to $60,000 and I can show them those numbers, well, I'd probably charge them $2,000 to $3,000 a month for that.
And with saying that, have you ever had, because Brooklyn dentist, it doesn't sound like the easiest term. So I'm curious, have you ever come across a client where you thought maybe, hey, this person's going to be too difficult to rank for?
No, absolutely not. If it's really up to the client at that point. All I can do is tell them what it's going to take. If they don't have the budget to do that, and if they don't want to have the opportunity to get $30,000, $60,000 in extra revenue from what they're currently doing, well, then it's just not a good client. As far as the ranking goes, no, not at all. Like I said, if you find the right partners that are good at SEO at what they do, they'll know what to do. Now, I guess what I can say is I'll go ahead and kind of give you my tip as far as my new resource that I've been using for SEO outsourcing. If you'd like me to share that with you guys.
Awesome, definitely.
So it's called PosiRank. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that yet, but PosiRank is awesome. I love them. They're very good at the SEO side of things and the outsourcing side. They're very cost effective. What would cost me, I'd say anywhere from, let's just say on average, is $700 to rank a client. Now, if it costs me $700, I'm probably charging anywhere from $15,000 to $2,000. That's kind of where I like to be at. PosiRank would probably be able to do that for about $300, $350, $400 maybe. And then that gets even better. Once they actually are done with, once your client is ranking, then it goes down to even like $100 to $200 maintenance mode.
So that's what you were saying before, that when you're
Yes.
in the process of ranking, it's closer to 50%, but once they're ranking, you're closer to the 70, 80.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And that was very similar to what my previous team, or my current previous team, is doing. They do go down, but they're the thing that you'll run into is when you leverage other kind of colleagues in the same industry, is they're looking to make it rich too. So their prices are going to be a little higher, so you can keep them motivated and do a great job for you. And I kind of purposely maybe overpaid them a little bit, so they knew they wanted to keep getting business.
I find that to be a reoccurring theme of successful entrepreneurs, is that they overpay their people, at least a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. Once we launch here at the first of the year, I still work out of my home. I mean, if I don't even have a living room anymore, it's an office. And once we launch in the first of the year, probably by the end of the first month, we are getting an office here in Houston, and we're going to start scaling from there. And one thing I say is, when I get salespeople or any employees, I'm going to make them excited to get up and come to work. One thing I've learned out of my years in doing this is, don't be greedy. Let everybody make money, as long as it makes sense and you're not giving up too much. It's a good practice to get into.
And I'm curious, have you ever, you say, and it does sound like SEO tends to be a game of resources and manpower, right? So it's like you can rank for anything as long as you have enough resources and manpower.
Exactly.
But have you ever had a client where you truly didn't have success for?
Absolutely, yeah. I would say, and this is the reason why I can guarantee my stuff, because I know my numbers. I would say out of about 20 clients with my 100% money back guarantee, I'll have to refund maybe one, sometimes two, out of those 20. And that's kind of what the biggest difference is about SEO these days. If you think about it, And that's one thing that sets me apart. And here's the thing: I don't guarantee rankings because that's impossible. But what I do guarantee is their investment. I've always felt that you shouldn't take anyone's money if you're not going to deliver the goods. And some people might have a different opinion about that, but it's worked very well for me. And so if a client's paying me $1,000 a month and it's 6 months and I don't get them there, man, I give them $6,000 back. That'll be a little bit difficult for anybody who's just starting out, but like I said, if you get a good team, and PosiRank is one of them, there is an application process that you have to go to. But if you leverage that source, I mean, I would almost say it's probably better SEO than what I'm getting now.
Wow. And I think too, the thing there is, because I love that you keep saying we haven't launched it, because the reality is that you have, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
you're not getting caught up in the details. You're not worrying about an office. You're not worrying about every single little thing. Instead, you're just hitting the pavement and making it work.
Well, exactly. That's the real thing. And to kind of go into a little bit of a backstory, if you don't mind, just to kind of talk to the people on this webinar. I don't know how successful everybody is, or how well they're doing, or if they're kind of just getting started and they're trying to figure out what works. The biggest tips that I can give you is just kind of focus on what you're passionate about. If it's reputation management, just go out there and do it. When I first started doing that, I had one landing page, and I can even show it to you, and they can take a look at it. So
Definitely.
You want me to type it into the chat?
Yeah, go for it. I can pull it up here on Chrome.
All right, hang on one second. It's still doesn't have a URL yet, or a custom one. It's a rip off report. No, it's rip off .instapage. This one landing page, without me having any case studies, without me having any clients, without me having nothing. I mean, I built this and I made that video on this page to help me build credibility with people. I leveraged the video. Here it is, ripoff.instapage. Yeah, that's it right there. I leveraged the video to help build kind of trust with people. It was just a very simple page, and I don't use this anymore because I've changed things, and certain things in that have changed. Like, for example, I was able
terrible too.
Yeah, it's not the sexiest. It was something I built that in probably a night. I did that video probably in 2 days and edit it myself. It's a good video to kind of take a look at if you're on this webinar and you just kind of want to see how I got started and all I needed. Now, the opposite side of this is that this didn't get me business with a click of a button, okay? I actually had to go out there and get people to this thing. And I didn't have any money really to send PPC traffic or rank sites at the time, and hell, I didn't even know how to rank sites. And I didn't have the money to pay $700 a month to rank. So I would get about 4 to 6 clients a month off this site, and all I did was call about 100 cold calls a day. And that's basically how I kind of got started. And then from there, I was able to get referrals, and get basically just get referrals, really. And it also made me more confident. And I'll tell you what, I was, I consider myself a sales guy, but I was still scared to get on the damn phone. That phone gets really heavy. I don't know if anybody else has that problem.
That phone grows spikes, teeth. It starts looking green and kind of slimy.
Exactly. So, but you know what? You just got to get over it. To kind of go back a little bit further, when I was about 20 years old, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I went to college for about an hour, and then I left. It didn't help that it was Monday Night Football, and I never went back. And I knew that working for myself was what I wanted to do. And I tried everything for a good 3 years and just failed constantly. And finally, my brother-in-law told me about these things called e-cigarettes. These water vapor, smokeless cigarettes. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I went up and bought my first one and built my own brand, leveraging my own China manufacturer, and grew that to over 1,500 retail stores. and we pretty much dominated Illinois. And I sold that for a little over $5 million 7 years ago. And I had a business partner, so we split that. And then from there, I built another awesome business that was with digital marketing, proximity marketing, and we got our product in over 800 Applebee's and was killing it. And at about month 9 to 10, Apple changed their Bluetooth connection, I guess. Basically, we weren't able just to immediately connect with their Bluetooth and deliver coupons and stuff. And within 3 months, we went bankrupt, and I lost every penny. I had a couple $100,000 left over that I just stashed away, but I lost it all. And I spent the last 5 years trying to figure out internet marketing because I felt that was where that's where I could succeed at, and I failed and failed.
How long did you take?
About 5 years.
Wow. I just like that because it's very relevant. I mean, so many people, the reality of any overnight success story is it's someone like yourself. Like I've had 2 successful businesses in the past, and then I studied for 5 years before I finally put it in the work and made it work.
Well, you can't fail until you quit. That's the way I looked at it. And one thing I'll tell anybody who's trying to figure this out for themselves, some real things that helped me in this is, one, don't be a talker. Be someone who be a walker, so to speak, not the zombie kind, but just be someone who is going to say and do what they say. That was a problem that I had to overcome big time, and actually, me and you, we kind of talked about this. And I don't know if anybody else is having this issue on the webinar, but after that business went bankrupt and I lost all my money, I don't really consider myself to be someone who gets depressed. I kind of brush it off. In my head, I think I do, brush it off and kind of get on with it next, so to speak. But I was actually scared to succeed. I didn't realize it, and I think I met my girlfriend about 1.5 years ago, and we met, and she was very interested in what I do and how I do it and stuff, and she was very excited, for what I told her we were gonna get, and we went a year, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. I said it was gonna happen. I talked, oh my gosh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, it's gonna be so amazing, and you know what? Not a damn thing got done. And you know why? Because I talked about it and I didn't do it. And she called me out on it. And she said, you said all this. Where's this at? Where's that at? And I'm like, And what I realized is after she called me out on it that I was a talker, not a walker. And it was at that exact moment where I looked at my model and said, you know what? I'm going to create the plan. I'm going to execute the plan, and I'm going to get it done. And that's when success really started happening.
And that's where, too, I think that so often I'm realizing more and more the reason why you pay someone else money is just so they hold you accountable. Like literally half the greatness of a personal trainer, even why CrossFit works so well.
That's right.
Because if you miss a workout, you're getting 5 texts from people that are like, hey, where were you? Or if you have a partner in business and you sleep in all of Monday because you're depressed, you're going to have 3 phone calls from him like, hey, how come you haven't emailed me back yet? Hey, what's going on?
You got it. You hit the nail on the head, and I'm big with that. I worked by myself for the longest time, and it wasn't until I moved in with my girlfriend, and we started living together that she really kind of held me to it, and that's when kind of things, my eyes kind of opened because I had no accountability. If things didn't get done, it was me who got to brush it off. But when she started seeing it, it was like, I thought you said you were going to do that. And when she said that next day I had this landing page up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so it was pretty much history after that.
So let's dial it back. So you have this landing page. We've kind of briefly touched on the kind of cold calling and cold email. Can you give us a little bit more about how you went about that process, or what your process looks like? Obviously, I'm sure you don't just literally pick up the phone and call numbers.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I do. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot more to it. So the first thing that I would do when I didn't have any money, I did this myself, but as soon as I got a few extra bucks, I paid some outsourcers to gather the leads. And I never used software to do this because I just didn't. But what I would do is I'd